Hello everyone. Today our topic is how to do group by without aggregation. So that means in PySpark, so whenever you do group by, so we always use aggregate function also on top of that. Suppose if you see this syntax, so df, this is our sample data frame, and first we'll write a group by function. So in group by, we'll mention normally column name, either single column or multiple column. And after that, we'll use aggregate function like dot agg. Suppose if I show you here, okay, so I think here I'm not mentioned. So maybe I'll write it here. So like, so df dot group by, and in group by, I'll mention column name. So either single column or multiple column. So df dot group by and dot agg aggregate, and inside that I will mention the aggregate function. So sum of salary, and I will give alias name sum of salary. Okay, so this is our regular syntax. So first it is a group by function, then we will write aggregate function. So in this video, we'll see why we need to use this aggregate function, and without this aggregate function, whether only group by will work or not. So that we are going to see here. So suppose if I try to run this group by without passing aggregate function, it will throw you error like grouped data. So department, that is this one, department column, and value. So value means remaining columns, employee ID, department, salary. So it throwing error. So that means whatever this output we are getting after applying group by, so that is group data. So it will give you input like this, means output it will give you like this. And so it will doing group by uh, operation, but it not displaying any output. Why? Because we are not passed any action function here, like show or display. Now, if you try to add action function on this, either show or display, you will get error here. Like grouped data, object has no attribute show. So that means it throwing error. So there is no operation on top of this group file. So that means what it means, this returns a grouped data object. So that is this one, grouped data object, not a data frame. So show function, either show or display function, it is applicable only for data frame, not for grouped data object, not for object. So that is the reason it's showing you error here. So you cannot show, you cannot use a dot show on top of this only group part. So now we'll see why aggregation is required. So mainly group by is designed to perform aggregate functions like count, sum, average, and aggregate maximum value, minimum value, and first and last, and collect underscore set and collect underscore list. So we have many more aggregate functions. So this group by is designed to aggregate, to apply aggregate functions on top of group by. So internally, Spark needs some operation to reduce rows per group. So that means, so this aggregate function is mandatory on top of group by function. So then what is the alternate for uh, group by? That means since we are getting error if you apply only group by, then what is the alternate for this? So alternate is, if you want to get unique groups, we have to use a distinct function. So this is equivalent to grouping key. So if you only need unique values and no aggregation, so we have to use this one, df dot select method we have to use. So inside select, we need to pass the column name and a distinct function we need to pass. So this is the very often method to get the unique values without using aggregation. So that means in PySpark, so only group by is will throw you error. So instead of that, alternate method is this select method. So select column name. So my column is this one, department, and on top of that, I'm using distinct. So I'm using distinct. So that means it will drop all duplicated values. So maybe we can take one data frame. Here I forget to add data frame. So what I will do, I will add here some data frame. So df underscore grp. So this I used in previous notebook. Let me find out where I used this notebook. This one. So this is my sample data frame actually. So this I supposed to write here itself. What I'll do, I'll start this server and parallelly I will copy the required functions. So these are the functions required. And here main functions are mainly aggregate functions. So I'm running this first aggregate function. And later I'm running this my sample data frame, that is df underscore grp. And on top of this one, df underscore grp group by department. So now what I will do in alternate method. So HR IT is there. If I try to run this one, so we have three departments. So here what it's doing, df dot select. First it's selecting department column. So in this, first if you take sales, see it repeating three times. So but what it's doing, since we are applying distinct, it will drop duplicate records. So it will keep only one record, that is sales. And a similar way for finance, we have four values. So it will keep only one and remaining three duplicate, it will remove. And similar way for marketing, we have two. So in this one, it will drop. So finally, we'll get three department names here. So that is about this one, select department distinct. And one more method we can use by using drop duplicates. So if I run this one, so drop duplicates and inside that I'm passing department column. So here what it's doing in group by, so drop duplicates I'm applying on department column. So as we discussed, so sales initially we have three rows. So it removed the duplicates. We are getting only one row, one sales. And marketing we have two, that become one. And finance we have four, that become one. And that relevant rows are displaying here. So in this sales 90,000, if you go here, sales 90,000. So this one. So in this first record it retaining and remaining two it dropping. And similar way finance 90,000 and marketing 80,000. See here finance 90,000, marketing 80,000. So it retaining first record and remaining duplicate records it dropping out. So alternate we have two methods. So one is by using select function using distinct method, and one more method is using drop duplicates. So next one is if you want all rows but logically grouped, so then we can use window functions. So third option is window functions. So what it does, it keeps all rows but partitions the data like grouping. So we'll see what it means. So we know that window function. So for applying window function, we need to import the window. So that I'm importing here PySpark.sql.window. So from here I'm importing window function here. So window dot partition by. So what is my partition by column is department. So I want to whatever I did here group by no. So that group by is equivalent to partition by here. So that is a department. And I'm doing order by on salary column. Okay, this whole thing I applied to window underscore spec. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm adding one new column. So there I'm giving the ranking. So this is my sample data frame with column. So with column, I'm adding new column for existing data frame. Suppose if I try to run this one, since our data frame got changed. So here, um, yeah, sales. I think I want to update this one also. Okay, that is fine. So here, what is happening? Here we are using a row number function and dot over and this window spec we are passing here. So for each row, it will give you the numbering. So row number it will give you. So if you see for first finance department, that is 4 rows. That means this is one department. That means one group. Since in partition by I mentioned department. So my first department is finance. So for finance, it will give you the numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. On which basis? Salary. So based on salary, it will give you the numbering. So order by, so here I'm not mentioned descending. So it will give you in ascending order. It will select in this ascending default order. So 1, 2, 3, 4 it given. And then next for marketing, we have 2 rows. So it giving 1, 2. And at the same way for sales, we have 3 rows and it giving numbering 1, 2, 3. So by using window function, we are applying the ranking here on department wise. So what is the here conclusion is group by alone, it is incomplete operation. So if you don't want aggregation, so you use either distinct method or drop duplicates or window functions. So this is the conclusion. So if you apply group by function, it returns no rows. That means it won't give you result. So it always needs aggregation. And if you instead of group by, if you apply distinct, so it returns the rows, but aggregation is not required. And similar way for drop duplicates, it will give you the result, but aggregation is not required. And similar way for window functions, it will return the rows, but it don't require aggregation. So aggregation is required only when you apply group by. So here we discussed different methods for alternative of aggregation. So whenever you apply, only group by, and if you don't want to use aggregate, then we discussed three different alternate methods. So that's about this video, how to group by without aggregation. So if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank